Today, I feel really moved to share an experience that I had whilst conducting a funeral for what I esteem to be a very special man. This man had spent his whole life living in the same neighbourhood. He had loved to travel and he had visited other parts of the world, but he had retained his deep connection with the place from which he was from, the place where he was born, the place where he grew up. He had the same best friend that he had when he was at primary school, something of which I'm quite envious, to have a friendship that spans such a significant amount of time of one's life. He had been married with his partner, the mother of his 2 children, for over 26 years, and he'd always lived life on his own terms, living life to the full, enjoying every moment. One of his mottos was, "Spend it, you can't take it with you." And he didn't have a legacy as such to leave his family, except for the love, the light, the warmth, his humour. He was a very popular man. He had been deeply loved not only by his children and his neighbours, but also by his colleagues at work, who created an absolutely stunning tribute in his honour and left it freely for everyone to be able to benefit from at the funeral. It was very, very touching. And I was quite struck by the family when I went to meet them. I spent an evening with them trying to understand this man for whose memorial I was going to be conducting. And I felt some envy of the life that he'd lived. He allowed himself to bet. He loved going to the betting shop. And it doesn't seem as though it was something that became extreme, like in an addiction that caused deprivation in his family, but it was his passion and his love, and he allowed himself that privilege. And through allowing himself such treats, such pleasures, he was able to sustain a really content existence for much of his life. It was really clear, speaking to his children, the admiration that they held for him, the gratitude for having shared their lives with such a father. Same is true for his partner and his neighbour that I was lucky enough to meet. And on his final farewell at the crematorium, I wore a Chelsea football shirt in his honour that his best friend had given me. And it was only after the service that I came to learn that it was actually this man's very own shirt. It bore his name across the back. And so it was very moving to realise that I had stood so close to him, literally wearing his clothes, as I led the congregation in saying goodbye to him. It was a very, very moving day today. But one of the things that really struck me, after having spent this evening with the family, I found myself having a dream, a really vivid and intense dream the next day, where I was able to meet this man whose job it was for me to honour. And we got up to real mischief, very much in the spirit that he was told to me as having lived. And during that encounter, I was able to tell him how deeply he was missed by his friends and family, and he cried a little with me. And I woke up the next day having such a profound sense of having really met this person. Of course, it was just a dream, but it seemed so intensely real. And it was interesting because the night before, I'd only seen 1 or 2 photos of him. And then when I came the following day to read the full tribute from his work colleagues and see all of the images, it really, it was the man that I had met in my dreams. So it's another one of those unusual things that reminds me of the profound mystery in which we live. So I just wanted to share that. I thought it was a very beautiful life story that I was able to recount today. This man who was larger than life, very loud, a big guy, bald-headed, earrings, thick neck, a real, his family described him as looking like a thug. And yet he obviously had such warmth in his heart, was known by so many people, incredibly polite, talked to anyone, and the packed crematorium that was there to say goodbye to him today was a testimony to just what a wonderful character he was. I feel really honoured to be able to play this kind of role in people's lives. Just wanted to share that.